In the year 536, the sky dimmed across the Roman Empire, in Syria, in China, in Ireland. People stared at a sun that refused to shine. The days felt like twilight. Crops withered. Cold crept in where warmth once lived. Historians called it the worst year to be alive. There was a time when the sun disappeared, not in myth, not in prophecy, but in the history of this world. And it didn't end quickly. The darkness stretched on for years. Famine, plague, collapse. Whole civilizations trembled. Some vanished. Volcanic ash from colossal eruptions had veiled the earth. A planetary winter. It was worldwide, and it was brutal. The world remembered. In Byzantium, Procopius wrote of a pale sun. In China, records spoke of snow in summer and desperate hunger. Irish monks wrote of failed bread for years on end. Syriac bishops wrote of death, cold, plague, silence. Even in places without written language, ruins tell the story. Cities abandoned, societies uprooted. From Korea to Mesoamerica, the planet screamed. It left a trace everywhere, in tree rings, in polar ice, in the oldest annals of mankind, everywhere except Arabia. And that's the question. Where was Arabia during the decade the world went dark? If the traditional Islamic history is to be believed, Arabia was a land of poets, traders and storytellers, a culture that recited every camel's name, every drop of rain. Yet, no one mentioned the sun disappearing. No poetry about famine, no oral sagas about the cold, no legend of the year without light. Nothing, not even a whisper. We are told the Quran emerged just a few decades later, in this very region, but there's no record of the trauma that shook the rest of the earth. Maybe because the narrative wasn't born yet. Maybe the traditional story of Islam was built later, brick by brick, by those who needed control, not truth. How can a desert civilization that remembered the names of horses forget the sky turning black for a year and a half? Why do Chinese monks, Roman historians and Irish scribes all write about 536 CE, but not a single Arab poet mentions it? Why does the Seerah start clean, like a theatre play with no backdrop? No mention of climate collapse, no ash, no hunger, no trauma. If Prophet Muhammad was born in 570, wouldn't his mother, his tribe, his entire generation have been shaped by the aftermath of that worldwide catastrophe? Where is that story? What kind of empire rises out of nowhere with no writing, no archive, no witness, and suddenly produce perfect political biography decades later? If Islam was revealed in the middle of the 7th century, why does the Quran never mention the cities and tribes lost just one generation earlier? Where is Mecca in the records of the Romans, Persians, Ethiopians? Could it be that the Arabia we've been taught is not the one that existed? Could it be that the true Quran came into a very different world and the history we've been handed is just a costume stitched by empire? The Quran stands apart. Its light does not dim, but the scaffold built around it, the names, the places, the biographies, they don't just feel wrong, they feel scripted. What was Arabia hiding during the darkest decade on earth? Or perhaps the better question is, what was later history hiding about Arabia?